Hey friends, Thor here, and today we're going to do a couple of things in this video. We're going to be talking about how I am gearing my alts in Season 1 of The War Within, and we're going to open vaults on all my characters. So we're starting out here on the Monk, and as we're opening it, I'm going to talk about kind of the strategy that I'm using as I'm gearing up my alts. So you get really high value on characters for opening 3 vault slots, and that's because there are these tokens that you can take, which I won't be taking today because I see that I've got some tier piece options. But there are these tokens that you can take, and if you get 6 of them, you can buy a socket for one of your items. So if you're able to open up 3 slots, you get 2 tokens per slot that you've unlocked. If you're able to open up 3 slots, you get really high value because you can get a socket. You cannot get more than 6 tokens per week. You can hold up to 12, but if you get 6 by opening 3 slots, then you get like really high value for a relatively low time investment. The strategy that I'm using on my characters to do this is I'm doing at least 1 Mythic Plus key on all of my characters that I'm trying to gear up. I'm doing 2 Delves, and I'm doing 2 other world events to get keys to open Bountiful Delves. The reason that I'm breaking it down like that, and I think we're just going to go ahead and rip this tier helm here. It's got great stats, and it's 616. The reason that I'm doing this is because if you do a key on level 3 or higher, you get a hero track slot in the dungeon row. And if you do Bountiful Delves on level 8, you get a hero track option here. The other option in the Delve row is basically just insurance so that I can grab a socket in the event that the items in those 2 hero track slots are not things that I want. Obviously, we got a tier helm on the Monk here. Pretty happy about that. I think that'll allow me to get 4-piece on my Monk this week. Never mind the empty socket there. I got this item in one of the dungeons I ran last night. But I think that'll allow us to get 4-piece if we catalyze maybe these pants, maybe something else. But that'll be the vault for the Monk. So let's take a look at the next character. As of last week, we're opening vaults on 5 different characters, 5 different tanks. We're going to go up the chain here. So the first 4 characters, Monk, Paladin, Druid, and DK, all have that same strategy going on. I've got 1 hero track slot for the dungeon row, 1 hero track slot for the delve row, and then 1 additional slot that's basically just socket insurance in case, you know, I don't get an item that I want in the 2 hero track slots. My warrior should have a much nicer vault. We'll talk about that when we get to it. If we can ever get through the loading screens. Alright, so the Paladin is coming along pretty nicely, actually. Obviously I haven't enchanted in my gear because enchants are insanely expensive right now, and I'm not doing anything where those are super necessary. We're going to open in... I think I'm actually going to open in Ret loot spec. Let me just double check that. And I'm doing this because I already have a hero track main hand and a crafted shield. And I'm not super interested in the defensive trinkets, at least at the levels that I'm pushing my Paladin on right now. So we'll see what we get here. We've got a verse crit necklace, not that great, but we've got a tier helm, which is going to be a nice upgrade. So 2 for 2 on tier. We will take that for sure. I got a tier warbound chest on my Paladin, or for like Paladin Priest Shaman last week. So pretty happy about that. That'll be 2-piece and a nice, what is that? Almost 30 itemable upgrade. So we'll take that for sure. Paladin's coming along pretty nice. I've been enjoying it a lot more than I thought it would too. So I'm really happy with how that's been going. On to the Druid. The Druid I did a couple of keys on last week, but I don't think I did enough to open up a second slot, or if I did, I think it's just a +2. But again, we did the same strategy where we have a hero track option on the dungeon row, a hero track option on the delve row, and then a additional option that's just there in case we need to grab a socket. Druid is currently on 0 tier pieces, so grabbing 1 here would be really nifty. I'm going to open up in Feral spec as well. Guardian feels really tanky, and I would like some damaging trinkets here. So, okay, well, we've got tier pants option. We did get a tier chest option from this slot, but it's only hero track, or it's only champion track. And I already have a decent belt. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and rip these tier pants. And then we can probably catalyze something to get 2-piece on the Druid, which, yeah, 2 pieces aren't super exciting this tier, but you know, it's like a free extra bit of damage, so we'll take it. And on to the Death Knight. 3 for 3 on tier so far. I'm really, really happy about that. My DK already has 1 tier piece. We grabbed tier shoulders from the vault last week, so we'll see what we have unlocked this week. And again, it'll be the same strategy where we've got 2 hero track options, and if neither of those are good items, we're just going to take a socket and be pretty happy about that. Probably won't spin the socket right away, but it could be something that we just hold on to until we get a nicer piece later in the season. I'm going to open in Unholy Spec, again because I'm not super pumped about the tank trinkets for most classes this year. The one exception to that I think would be the Taunt trinket for Brewmaster Monk. I think is actually a really interesting option. Okay, so we've got tier gloves, which would give us 2 piece, which again is not super exciting, but it's free damage. Or shoulders when we already have tier shoulders. Yeah, we're going to take the hero track tier gloves. I also haven't spent any catalyst charges on most of my characters, only on my warrior. But my warrior also got Keystone Master last week, so we will be able to get 4 piece on warrior today, guaranteed. I have a hero track item that I could use that catalyst charge on, and then we have the token that I have not spent yet on my warrior. So yeah, now that we're on the warrior, I will talk about kind of like where everything has landed over the last week, how the first week of Mythic Plus and everything went. It was hard as anticipated. Dungeons are not easy this season. I was able to do some +8s, wasn't quite able to get a +9 done. With my guild group, we kind of threw on some of the 8s that we did, and we're not able to upgrade those keys. And then pugging, it's just hard to get invited if you don't already have 9s or 10s done. But we were able to get up to 45 score, so pretty happy with that. Got some 8s done. Got everything done on a 6 or higher. Necrotic Wake, this dungeon is just absolutely brutal, so not really surprised that we didn't get super high progress there. Hopefully it'll be easy on Fortified Week. But yeah, we're gonna have 2 hero track slots on the raid row, full hero track on the Mythic Plus row, and then 2 in the Delve row here. So let's see what we've got. We've got 2-handed mace. Not gonna grab that, it's only champion track anyway. We've got a hero track belt, which would be very, very slight side grade due to secondaries, so we're not taking that. We do have hero track tier pants, so this is probably what we're going to end up grabbing, but we'll see what else is on the docket here. I've got a chest with avoidance, but I already have hero tier and I don't want to catalyze that. If that was speed, I might consider it for like a long-term play. We've got untiered pants with mastery, so we don't want to grab those. And we've got a hero track cloak. I have the very rare cloak from raid on normal, so that would probably be this cloak would not be better than what I've got. And then we've got a 616 belt, which I'm not too thrilled about. Ooh, we have, well, okay, here's the thing. Tier shoulders for prot warrior are not great because they have a lot of mastery, and that's our worst stat. However, these are 616 and they do have avoidance on them. I still think I'm going to opt for the pants because I want to do the long-term play here. And we will be trying to run 4-piece with maybe crafted shoulders. So even though these have avoidance, it's not a ton of avoidance. And avoidance is nerfed compared to Dragonflight. So I think I'm going to opt for the tier pants. And then we will go buy a tier helm to get our 4-piece for this week. 4-piece for Prot Warrior is very, very underwhelming. But yeah, we'll take it. Not going to complain about the free damage. All right. And then let's just kind of talk about what's going on with Mythic Plus this week. So we have a new Xal'atath's Bargain affix. We have Oblivion. So last week we had a bunch of spheres that spawn all around the mobs or bosses that you're in combat with, and you had to CC them. This week, we have more spheres that are spawning, and you have to intercept them before, because they'll like spawn on the outside, and they'll start moving toward enemies that you're in combat with. If you touch them, you get a Mastery and Leech buff. If the enemies touch them, they get a, I think it's just a straight damage buff. It could be mistaken by that. But they get some sort of a buff. So you want to make sure that you're intercepting those. Level 4, we have Fortified. 10 will have Tyrannical, so if you're doing 10s or higher, obviously you're going to have both of those. Challenge for Sparrow. If you guys didn't run any keys with this last week, 15 seconds from the death timer every time someone dies is pretty brutal. You got to make sure that you're playing clean on 7 and higher keys. And then level 12 and beyond, you know, if you're doing those, you probably know what's going on. We don't need to talk too much about Xal'atath's Guile at this point in the season. Thanks everyone for watching. If you like the video, please give us a like and a subscribe. And I will be streaming more raid prog and more keys and everything throughout the week. So please check out the stream if you're interested in hanging out and chatting while we game. Until next time, farewell friends.